What does it mean to hold a presence so profound that it reshapes the world around you? Imagine a woman who, with a single glance or a quiet word, draws others into her orbit not through force, but through a serene, unshakable authenticity. This is not mere charm. It is the essence of a magnetic soul forged in the fires of self-awareness, resilience, and a deep philosophical understanding of life. Today, we embark on a journey to explore the timeless qualities that define such a woman who embodies empowerment, not as a gift bestowed by others, but as a power reclaimed through her own will and wisdom. This exploration is for you, the thinker, the dreamer, the seeker who senses that beneath the surface of daily life lies a deeper truth waiting to be uncovered. As we delve into these 10 signs of personal magnetism, we invite you to reflect. Do you recognize these traits within yourself? Are you the quiet force that inspires, uplifts, and transforms? Through the lens of stoicism and existential thought, we'll uncover how these qualities resonate with the eternal struggle for freedom and self-discovery, values that have long defined women's resilience against societal chains. Whether you're drawn by the tranquility of your own confidence, the authenticity of your voice, or the strength of your individuality, this journey promises revelations that could redefine how you see yourself and your place in the world. We crafted this for women like you, those who seek not just to exist, but to thrive in harmony with their truest selves. If a particular sign stirs your soul or sparks a moment of clarity, please share your thoughts in the comments below. Tell us how these ideas echo in your life or suggest topics you'd love us to explore next. Your voice fuels our mission to create content that empowers, inspires, and connects. Let's grow together. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and join us as we unravel the philosophy of a woman's magnetic allure. Now, let's begin. In the vast expanse of human connection, there exists a rare and luminous quality, an allure that transcends the superficial and speaks to the very core of what it means to be alive. This is not the fleeting charm of youth or the hollow polish of perfection. It is a deep, abiding presence woven from threads of self-knowledge, inner harmony, and a stoic serenity that radiates outward like a beacon. For women, this magnetism is both a birthright and a triumph, a testament to the resilience that has carried them through centuries of struggle, and a quiet rebellion against the norms that seek to confine them. Today, we explore 10 signs of this true personal magnetism, each a facet of a woman's soul that empowers her to stand as a creator of her own destiny, confidently revealing your quirks. In a world that often demands a polished facade, the alluring woman dares to let her true self shine, imperfections and all. She does not hide the quirks that define her, she celebrates them. Perhaps it's the way her laughter dances in unexpected rhythms, or the unconventional passions that light her eyes, be it tending to a garden of wildflowers or losing herself in the pages of an obscure philosophical tome. These are not flaws to be concealed, but signatures of her individuality, etched boldly upon the canvas of her being. To reveal one's quirks is to embrace vulnerability with courage, a stoic act of authenticity that dismantles the illusion of perfection. The woman who laughs at her own missteps, who shares her oddities without shame, becomes a mirror for others, reflecting the beauty of their own unpolished humanity. She knows that perfection is a cage, and in breaking free she invites others to do the same. This is not mere relatability, it is a profound connection forged through the shared recognition that we are all works in progress. Consider the stoic wisdom of Marcus Aurelius. What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears. Yet in her quirks she finds not despair, but joy, a resilient humor that softens life's edges. When she stumbles, she does not recoil, she laughs, inviting those around her to join in the lightness of the moment. This is her power, to transform the awkward into the endearing, the flawed into the unforgettable. For women, this act of self-revelation is a quiet revolution, a refusal to be molded by expectation, and a celebration of the self as it is, not as it should be. Don't be afraid to lose. The magnetic woman does not cling to victory as the measure of her worth. She knows that life is not a ledger of wins and losses, but a tapestry of experiences that shape her soul. When plans unravel or dreams falter, she does not shrink from the wreckage, she steps forward, owning her missteps with a grace that disarms. This is not weakness, it is strength distilled through vulnerability, a stoic acceptance that not every endeavor will bear fruit, and that true allure is in the authenticity of the attempt. Imagine her in conversation admitting, "I faltered there, I didn't see that coming." Her honesty is a bridge, not a wall, drawing others closer through the shared truth of imperfection. She seeks help when lost, asks questions when uncertain, and in doing so she reveals a rare courage, the courage to be human. Nietzsche's will to power echoes here not as domination, but as the will to rise above defeat, to grow through failure rather than be diminished by it. For her, loss is not an endpoint but a beginning, a chance to learn, to connect, to evolve. This quality speaks to women's historical resilience, their capacity to endure, adapt, and thrive despite setbacks imposed by a world that often denies them victory. She does not fear loss because she knows her worth is not tethered to external triumph, but to the quiet dignity of her response. In this, she embodies a freedom that societal norms cannot touch, a freedom to be, to falter, and to rise again more radiant than before. The art of listening attentively. In a clamor of voices vying for attention, the alluring woman stands apart not by speaking loudest, but by listening deepest. She offers her presence like a gift, her eyes steady, her nods thoughtful, her silence a canvas for others to paint their truths. This is no passive act, it is an art form, a stoic practice of humility and wisdom that elevates both speaker and listener. When she listens, she does not merely hear, she understands. She feels, she honors the soul before her. Picture her in a moment of quiet exchange, a friend shares a burden, and she responds not with haste, but with a question that deepens the tale. What did that feel like for you? Her attention is a balm, soothing the ache of being unseen. Stoicism teaches that every soul carries lessons, and she, the eternal student, seeks them out not to judge but to learn. This is her power, to make others feel valued, not as echoes of her own voice, but as distinct melodies in the symphony of life. For women, listening is an act of defiance against a world that often silences them. It is a reclamation of agency, a way to build community where division once stood. She listens not to fix but to witness, a radical empathy that fosters trust and unveils common ground. In this space, she weaves connections that endure, proving that true allure lies not in dominance, but in the quiet strength of understanding. Show respect to everyone. The magnetic woman moves through the world with a reverence that touches every soul she meets. She sees the inherent worth in each person, not as a means to an end, but as an end in themselves. Her respect is not a performance, it is a philosophy, rooted in the Stoic belief that all are bound by a shared humanity. Whether she offers a warm compliment, your passion for this lights up the room, or simply holds space for another story, she leaves an imprint of dignity that lingers long after she's gone. This respect is a lifeline for women who have too often been denied it. She knows its weight, its power to heal and uplift, and she wields it with intention. A stranger becomes a confidant with a single thoughtful gesture, or fleeting encounter becomes a memory of being truly seen. People will forget what you said, the adage goes, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. She lives this truth, crafting a legacy of kindness that defies the transactional nature of modern life. In her hands, respect becomes empowerment, a mirror reflecting the potential in others, a spark igniting their own self-worth. Stoicism's call to honor rationality in all finds its echo here, as she builds a world where every voice matters. For her, this is not just allure, it is a moral imperative, a way to mend the fractures of a society that has too long overlooked its daughters. Pay attention to and remember personal details. The alluring woman carries a treasury of memories, not of grand events, but of the small, sacred details that define those around her. She recalls the name of a child mentioned in passing, the dream shared over coffee, the quiet fear confessed in a moment of trust. When she asks, "How did that painting you were working on turn out?" her words are a thread, stitching the fabric of connection tighter. This attentiveness is more than courtesy. It is a Stoic virtue, an act of community that honors the individual within the collective. She listens with her whole being, anchoring names and stories in her mind as if they were precious stones. In a world that rushes past the personal, she pauses, and in that pause she makes others feel cherished. For women whose voices have often been erased, this act of remembrance is a quiet rebellion, a refusal to let any soul fade into obscurity. Her memory is a gift she gives freely, a bridge between past and present that deepens every bond. Nietzsche's eternal recurrence whispers here, if every moment repeats infinitely, let it be one of meaning, of recognition. She lives this, turning fleeting encounters into lasting echoes of care, proving that allure is not in the spotlight, but in the shadows where true connection thrives. Possess mutual understanding. Where others see division, the magnetic woman seeks harmony. She listens not to argue, but to uncover the unspoken eyes that bind us all. I hear you, she might say, and I feel that same longing in my own way. What shapes it for you? Her words are an invitation, not a challenge, creating a space where differences enrich rather than divide. This is no compromise of self, it is a stoic dance of sympathy, the interconnectedness of all things, celebrated through dialogue. For women, this pursuit of mutual understanding is a reclaiming of power, a way to build bridges where walls once stood. She does not erase her own truth but weaves it alongside others, crafting a tapestry of shared humanity. When disagreement arises, she meets it with grace, offering a perspective that honors both sides. This is her allure, the ability to transform conflict into communion, to turn strangers into kindred spirits. Nietzsche's a mensch finds a shadow here, not in domination, but in the self-overcoming that seeks unity over conquest. She knows that true strength lies in connection, not division, and in this, she embodies a freedom that societal norms cannot cage, a freedom to understand, to grow, and to uplift. Radiate happiness when meeting people. The alluring woman enters a room not with fanfare, but with a warmth that shifts the air. Her joy is not a mask, it is a flame kindled by a genuine love for the human spirit. She delights in the stories others tell, in the quirks they reveal, in the quiet victories they share. Tell me more, she urges, her eyes alight, her presence a testament to the stoic belief that life's richness lies in its connections. This happiness is a radical act for women, a defiance of the burdens history has placed upon them. She does not deny sorrow or struggle, but chooses to meet them with a resilience that finds light in the darkest corners. A friend's triumph becomes her own, a stranger's tale becomes a thread in her ever-expanding world. Nietzsche's will to power pulses here not as control, but as the power to create joy, to elevate the mundane into the meaningful. Her radiance is contagious, a spark that ignites hope in others. She lives as if every encounter is a chance to affirm life's beauty, proving that allure is not in perfection, but in the authentic celebration of being. For her, happiness is not a destination, it is a journey she shares, a gift she offers to a world too often starved of it. Impressive body language. Words alone do not define the magnetic woman, her very presence speaks. The tilt of her head as she listens, the gentle curve of her smile as she encourages, the steady gaze that says, I see you, these are her language, as eloquent as any poem. She moves with intention, her gestures a symphony of empathy and strength, turning even a simple conversation into a dance of connection. This mastery of body language is a stoic art, a way to honor others without uttering a word. When she rests a hand on a shoulder in comfort, or leans forward in rapt attention, she bridges the gap between souls. For women, whose voices have often been muted, this silent eloquence is a reclaiming of space, a way to assert presence where words alone might fail. Her body tells a story of resilience, of grace under pressure, of a spirit unbroken by expectation. Nietzsche's eternal recurrence resonates here, let each gesture be worthy of infinite repetition. She crafts moments that linger, her physicality a canvas of virtue, kindness, respect, understanding. This is her allure, a harmony of mind and movement that invites others into her world, not as spectators but as equals. Embrace the power of touch. In the delicate weave of human bonds, the alluring woman knows the unspoken power of touch. A hand on an arm in solace, a clasp of palms in celebration, these are not mere gestures, but profound acts of connection. She wields this power with care, attuned to the boundaries of those she meets. Her sensitivity, a reflection of stoic OS, is the natural kinship that binds us all. For women, touch is a reclamation of agency, a way to assert warmth and solidarity in a world that has often denied them both. When she offers a gentle pat to a weary friend, or a firm handshake to a new ally, she speaks a language older than words. You are not alone. This is her strength, her ability to make others feel held, valued, seen. Nietzsche's will to power finds expression here not in force, but in the tender authority of presence. Her touch is a bridge, a moment of eternity in a fleeting world. She knows its weight, capacity to heal or uplift, and she uses it to forge bonds that endure. In this, she embodies a freedom that transcends societal chains, a freedom to connect, to comfort, to affirm life's shared pulse. Stay positive and find joy in living. The magnetic woman does not merely endure life, she embraces it with a fervor that lights the shadows. Her positivity is not naive. It is a stoic choice, a resilient lens through which she views both triumph and trial. A storm may cancel her plans, but she gathers friends for a night of laughter instead. A challenge may rise, but she meets it with curiosity and grit. This is her allure, a love for living that transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. For women, this joy is a rebellion, a refusal to be dimmed by the weight of history or expectation. She sees life's unpredictability not as a burden, but as a canvas for creation. What can we make of this? She asks, her voice a spark that kindles hope in others. Nietzsche's eternal recurrence dances here. If life repeats, let it be a life of delight, of connection, of meaning. She lives this, spreading warmth wherever she goes. Her optimism is a gift to herself, to her community, to the world. She finds joy in the small, a child's laugh, a shared story, a quiet moment of reflection, and in doing so, she empowers others to do the same. This is her legacy, a radiant spirit that proves Allure is not in surviving, but in thriving fully and fearlessly. And so, we conclude our journey through the 10 signs of a truly magnetic woman whose allure is not a fleeting shimmer, but a deep, enduring flame. These traits, authenticity, resilience, empathy, joy, are not just markers of charm. They are the essence of empowerment, a philosophical tapestry woven from stoic wisdom and existential courage. For the women of She Thinks, this is a call to recognize your own light, to see how your quirks, your listening, your unbreakable spirit shape the world around you. What resonates with you? Do you find your strength in the quiet power of touch or the radiant joy of living? We'd love to hear your reflections. Drop a comment below, share this with a friend who inspires you, and subscribe to join us on this ongoing exploration of philosophy and empowerment. Your engagement fuels our mission to uplift and connect. Next, stay tuned for a special discussion with Emma and James, who will dive deeper into these ideas and share their own insights, because your journey doesn't end here. It's just beginning. Thank you for being part of this, and until next time, keep shining in your unique, alluring way.
Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. And today we are talking about what makes a woman magnetic.
Oh, magnetic, huh?
And we're not talking about just, the superficial. We're talking about like deep down allure, like the kind of person that just draws people in.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to be getting into today.
So that really captivating presence.
Yes.
I like that.
And the kind of presence that can make someone influential in any part of life.
Absolutely, yeah.
So our source material for today is an article called Unveiling the Eternal Feminine Allure, 10 Signs of a Truly Magnetic Woman.
Interesting.
And it's from a website that is all about, women's empowerment. And get this, the article is not just about attracting romantic partners.
Cool.
It's about qualities that make you a force to be reckoned with in any area of life.
I like that. That. A force to be reckoned with any area.
So the first sign that the article talks about is confidently revealing your quirks. And this is about embracing, those imperfections, like even celebrating them. Why do you think that might be magnetic?
Well, I think, when you're comfortable with your quirks, it shows that you're not trying to fit into any mold.
Right.
It's genuine, and it makes you more interesting. And, it takes confidence to be yourself. And confidence is definitely attractive.
Yes.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. And the article gives a great example. So imagine a woman who's really passionate about, wildflowers.
Wildflowers.
Yeah. Or reading, super obscure philosophy. She doesn't hide those things. She owns them.
Right.
So those passions then become part of her charm. Like they say, perfection is boring.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So the next sign is don't be afraid to lose.
Okay.
This one really struck me because it emphasizes being comfortable with failure. Not letting your wins define you.
I see that, yeah. That's interesting. But I wonder if sometimes there's a fine line, between revealing your quirks and maybe oversharing. Or, coming across as too eccentric. I don't know. What are your thoughts? What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's a great point. I think it's about, finding that balance.
Yeah.
Being authentic without necessarily, putting it all out there.
Right.
But I do think there's something powerful about being open about your failures. Because haven't we all learned more from our setbacks?
Oh, absolutely.
Than maybe our successes?
100%, yeah.
And the article even quotes a woman saying, I faltered there. I didn't see that coming.
Wow.
And it's that honesty and vulnerability that can really connect with people.
It makes you relatable.
Yeah. It makes you relatable. It shows that you're human.
Yeah.
All right. The third sign is the art of listening attentively.
Okay.
And this one is huge.
Yeah.
So imagine a woman who really listens and makes others feel heard.
Mm-hmm.
That's powerful.
That kind of listening shows respect.
Yes.
When you truly listen to somebody, you're learning from that encounter.
Right.
And you're showing that you value the other person's perspective.
And the article gives a really good example. It says, like, imagine asking someone, what did that feel like for you?
Oh, wow.
Such a simple question.
Yeah, but so impactful.
But so impactful.
Yeah.
It shows that you're not just waiting for your turn to talk.
Right.
You're genuinely interested. And I think that level of empathy can be incredibly magnetic.
I agree.
Okay, on to the next sign. Show respect to everyone.
Everyone.
It's about treating everyone with dignity, no matter who they are or what they do.
I like that. It's fascinating because it's going beyond just being polite.
Right.
You're recognizing inherent worth in every individual.
Yes.
It's powerful.
And the article even quotes that saying, people will forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel.
That's so true. And it makes me think about some of the most magnetic people that I've met.
Yeah.
They are always the ones who treat everybody with just kindness and respect,
Yes.
regardless of their status.
Yes. You're absolutely right.
It's something you really notice.
It speaks volumes about a person's character.
Yeah.
Now, the next sign is pay attention to and remember personal details. So think about how good it feels when someone remembers little things about you.
Yeah.
It makes you feel
It
seen.
makes you feel like you matter.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the article even mentions, like remembering someone's child's name or a dream that they shared.
Right.
It's those little things that create those lasting connections.
It really shows that you care. Have you ever experienced that?
Yeah.
Like someone remembering a small detail that really made you feel valued? I have.
Yeah.
It's amazing how such a small gesture can have such a big impact. Like
Yeah.
you're not just another face in the crowd.
Right.
And when someone makes you feel that way, you're naturally drawn to them.
Yes.
It's amazing how these signs are all interconnected.
Oh, yeah.
It's not about mastering like one or two.
Yeah.
It's about this whole approach to life.
It's like they build on each other, right?
Exactly.
And they create like this amazing synergy.
Yeah, yeah. For example, think about confidently revealing your quirks.
Okay.
How that ties into don't be afraid to lose.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
When you're comfortable with your imperfections,
Yeah,
you're more likely to take risks,
that's true.
even if you might fail.
That is true.
And when you're not afraid to lose,
Yeah.
you approach challenges with more curiosity,
Yeah.
leading to more resilience and growth.
It's like a feedback loop, right?
It is.
A positive feedback loop.
It is a positive feedback loop.
Yeah, yeah.
And both of those qualities feed into the art of listening attentively.
Right.
When you're secure with yourself,
Yeah.
you're not trying to prove your point, but you're really trying to understand the other perspective.
Yeah. And that attentiveness creates those deeper connections, which then leads to mutual understanding and respect,
Yes.
which are all essential for that magnetic presence.
I agree with you. Have you noticed
Yeah.
how this article kind of subtly challenges traditional ideas about femininity?
Now that you mention it, it's
Yeah.
not about fitting into some predefined box, right?
Right.
It's about embracing a more empowered way of being.
It is. It frames these qualities as almost acts of rebellion against those limiting norms.
Yeah, I see that.
Wouldn't you say?
Yes.
It's reclaiming that agency and defining what it means to be a woman on your own terms.
For example, radiate happiness when meeting people is described as a radical act.
Wow.
Defying, societal burdens. And embrace the power of touch is presented as a way for women to, reclaim agency and express solidarity.
Oh, interesting.
So it challenges that idea that touch should primarily be initiated by men.
That is fascinating.
It's so empowering. It's like rewriting the narrative.
Yes.
Defining femininity as a source of strength,
Right.
resilience, and joy.
I love how the article weaves in these philosophical insights without it feeling like a lecture.
Yes.
It's not just a list of tips and tricks.
It's not.
It's a deeper exploration.
It's a much deeper
of
explanation.
timeless wisdom.
You're so right. It doesn't shy away from that intellectual depth. And I think connecting concepts like self-acceptance and resilience
Right.
to these deeper principles,
Right.
it elevates the whole discussion.
It really does. For example, confidently revealing your quirks linked to the idea of authenticity and self-love.
Yeah.
Accepting yourself as you are.
And don't be afraid to lose connects to accepting what's outside of your control.
Right.
Like focusing on your own efforts
Exactly.
rather than dwelling on outcomes.
I like that. You can't control.
And the art of listening attentively ties back into humility.
Yes.
And learning from every encounter.
Yes.
Approaching those conversations with an open mind. Yeah.
Willingness to understand different perspectives.
It's fascinating how all these ideas remain so relevant even today.
They do.
I think they provide a framework for understanding these qualities on a much deeper level.
Yes.
And then integrating them into our lives.
Right.
But I'm also realizing these qualities aren't just beneficial for women, are they?
You're so right.
They're valuable for everyone.
Absolutely. They're universal principles that can enhance anyone's life and relationships.
So the article focuses on women because it's written from that perspective.
Right.
But the message is so much broader.
Yes.
It's about recognizing that qualities like empathy,
Right.
resilience,
Mm-hmm.
authenticity, these are human qualities,
Yes.
not masculine or feminine.
Exactly.
So while this article is for women,
Yes.
it offers valuable insights for anyone
Absolutely.
who wants deeper connections and a more fulfilling life.
It reminds us that true magnetism doesn't come from superficial charm.
Right.
It comes from inner work, cultivating virtue, wisdom, and genuine love for life.
Becoming the best versions of ourselves,
Yeah.
not just to attract others,
Right.
but for a life that is aligned with our values.
And when we do that,
Yeah.
we naturally radiate that magnetism.
Yes.
Not because we're trying to,
Hmm.
but because we're aligned with our truest selves.
It's a beautiful paradox, isn't it?
It is.
The more we focus on our own growth, the more we shine.
I love that.
It's like that saying, be the change you want to see in the world.
Yes.
When we embody these qualities,
Yeah.
we inspire others to do the same.
And speaking of transformation,
Yeah.
one thing that stood out to me is how this article flips the script
Okay.
on traditional ideas of power.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not about dominance or control.
Yeah.
It's a more subtle and nuanced form of influence.
Tell me more. Tell me more about that.
Well, traditionally, power is associated with outward displays of strength.
Right.
But these qualities point to a different kind of power, one that draws people in
Yeah.
through warmth, empathy, strength of character.
It's leading by example, isn't it?
It is.
Inspiring others through your actions.
Right.
And how you move through the world.
Exactly. And it emphasizes connection and community.
Yes.
It's not about isolating yourself to achieve something.
Right.
It's about building bridges and fostering a sense of belonging.
Qualities like the art of listening attentively, show respect to everyone, and possess mutual understanding,
Yes.
all highlight valuing and honoring the perspectives of others.
And embrace the power of touch speaks to that physical connection
Mm-hmm.
in creating intimacy and support.
Yeah, but do you ever wonder
I do?
if embracing touch can be misconstrued?
Oh. Especially in today's world.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I think it's about being mindful of boundaries,
Yes.
and understanding the context,
Yeah.
using touch in a way that's appropriate,
Right.
respectful, empowering.
It's about reading the situation
It is.
and the other person's cues.
You're right.
But when used appropriately,
Yeah.
touch can be so powerful
It can.
to build trust and connection.
100%. It all comes back to that idea that we are interconnected
Yes.
and that our well-being is tied to the well-being of others.
It's not about a zero-sum game.
Right.
It's about collaboration,
Exactly.
empathy, and lifting each other up.
Exactly.
And it challenges the idea that women need to suppress their emotions
Or conform.
or conform to be successful.
Be successful, right.
It encourages embracing that full range of emotions,
Yes.
including joy, vulnerability, and even anger
Absolutely.
as sources of strength and authenticity.
I love that it's about being your whole self.
Yes.
Not just the version that society expects.
Radiate happiness when meeting people is about expressing genuine joy,
Right.
while don't be afraid to lose, encourages embracing those setbacks as opportunities
Yeah.
for growth.
For growth, exactly.
And confidently revealing your quirks is about celebrating individuality. Refusing to fit into a mold.
Right.
It's so refreshing, isn't it?
It is.
It's about rewriting the script.
Yeah.
Defining success on your own terms.
I love that.
And it reminds us that you don't have to choose between being strong and being feminine.
That's right.
You can be both.
Yes, you can.
And in fact, embracing both
Yeah.
is what makes you truly magnetic.
Beautifully said.
Oh, thank you.
And one last thought.
Okay.
These qualities also emphasize self-care and well-being.
Oh, yes.
It's not about sacrificing your needs for others,
Mm-hmm.
but nurturing your physical, emotional, and spiritual health.
That is so important.
Qualities like stay positive and find joy in living and embrace the power of touch.
Yes.
They highlight prioritizing your well-being
Yeah.
so that you can show up as your best self.
It's about recognizing that you can't pour from an empty cup.
You can't.
You need to take care of yourself.
Yes,
So you have that energy and resilience
that's right.
to connect with others and make a positive impact.
This has been such a thought-provoking discussion.
I know.
I feel like we've uncovered so much depth and insight
Me too.
from just this one article.
I feel like we've only scratched the surface.
I agree, there's so much more to unpack here.
There is.
And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
This is just the beginning of a lifelong journey
Yes.
of self-discovery and growth.
We've still got one more part of this deep dive to go.
We do.
So stay with us as we continue to explore these fascinating ideas. So, as we've been talking about these 10 signs, I can't help but think about, how they might actually play out in a woman's life. Imagine a woman, decides to really embrace these qualities. How do you think that would change things for her?
Oh, I think it'd be transformative.
Yeah.
It'd be a journey, right? Like a journey of self-discovery where she starts to see herself in a whole new light.
I love that.
I do too.
It's not just about changing how others see her,
Right.
but how she sees herself.
Exactly. It's recognizing her own worth and embracing herself, imperfections and all.
Yeah.
And I imagine her confidence would grow as she does that. And she'd start to, attract different opportunities and relationships
Yeah, I love it.
into her life.
The article even mentioned this idea of positivity being a resilient lens.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine, looking at the world through that lens? Seeing the good even when things are tough.
That's a powerful shift in perspective.
It is.
Instead of focusing on what's wrong, she'd be looking for what's right, what's possible.
I love that. And that optimism can be contagious.
Absolutely.
It can inspire those around her.
It can.
And think about the impact of the art of listening attentively as she truly listens to people.
Yeah.
I mean, those connections would deepen, wouldn't they?
There's a real power in making people feel heard
Right.
and understood.
Mm.
It builds trust. It creates that sense of intimacy
Yes.
in all your relationships, personal and professional.
And remember that example about remembering personal details.
Yeah.
Imagine the impact that would have
That's huge.
on her relationships.
It's those small gestures that make such a difference.
Yeah, I'm starting to see how these qualities can ripple outward, right?
I agree.
Creating a positive impact on the world around her.
It's like she becomes a catalyst for positive change,
Yes.
inspiring others to embrace their own authenticity and strength. And I think it's important to note,
Yeah.
this journey isn't always easy, right?
That's not.
There might be times when she faces setbacks,
Of course.
doubts.
That's so true. It's not about being perfect.
It's not.
It's about having that resilience
Exactly.
to get back up when you fall.
Don't be afraid to lose.
Yes.
Setbacks become opportunities for learning and growth.
Yes. It's all part of the process.
It is.
And the article even talked about radiating happiness as a radical act,
I remember that.
especially for women.
Yeah.
What do you think that means?
I think it's about challenging the expectation
Okay.
that women should bear the weight of the world on their shoulders, giving themselves permission to be joyful,
Yes.
even when facing adversity.
It's about choosing happiness
It is.
as an act of defiance almost,
It is.
and recognizing that her happiness is a gift
Yeah.
to herself and to the world.
And as she embraces these qualities,
Yeah.
I imagine she'd start to attract, people who are drawn to that kind of energy,
Yes.
people who are on a path of growth and authenticity.
It's like creating a community around her, right?
Yes.
Of like-minded individuals all supporting each other.
Yeah. That sense of community is incredibly empowering.
It is.
It's a reminder that you're not alone on this journey.
This has been such an incredible deep dive.
It has.
I mean, we've explored so much about what it means to be a truly magnetic woman.
It's fascinating.
And I feel like we've just scratched the surface.
I agree.
But I think the most important takeaway here
Okay.
is that these qualities, they're not about manipulation, right?
Right.
Or trying to be someone you're not.
It's got it.
It's about inner transformation.
Yeah.
Becoming the best version of yourself.
It's about living a life that is aligned with your values and your truest self.
Yes, and when you do that,
Yeah.
you just naturally radiate that magnetism
Absolutely.
that draws people to you.
It's a journey of self-discovery and empowerment,
It is.
available to all of us.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.
Of course.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights
Yes.
and inspiration.
Lots of inspiration.
We'll be back soon with another fascinating topic.
I can't wait.
So stay tuned.